Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
Oh, and in case I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
This is my boomstick.
Here's Johnny.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
Righteous! Righteous! Yeah!
I love the smell of napalm in the morning.
Good morning, Vietnam!
Houston, we have a problem.
The first rule of Fight Club is you do not talk about Fight Club.
All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Those Film Nerds podcast. My name is Will Spalding, and as always, I am joined by Sam Dierberger. Sam, what's happening? What's up? How you doing?
How we doing, everyone? I hope you all had a lovely Easter. I know I did.
Did you go home, Sam?
I did not. I
Okay.
did not. It was actually amazing because I enjoyed the silence of a college campus for a whole weekend.
Oh,
Which
it was
is
dead. It's dead where I'm at, or it was.
Did you stay here? Did you stay in
Yeah,
Iowa?
I did. And there was nobody here. Campus was empty.
It's so nice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
I
was
would
so
just
cool.
walk through the lobby without a mask on because there's no one there to police me, you know. We had perfect weather all weekend, you know.
Oh, and it's so nice too. It's like 75, 72 something. Oh my gosh, it's lovely. Well, Sam, we have an episode here, and we're going to talk some industry news. We're going to talk a movie of the week, and then get into some recommendations at the end. As always, it's going to be a standard format episode, really. And what is the movie of the week?
Movie this week, which ironically I watched on Easter.
As did I.
Is called Coven.
And Sam, this is normally where we play a trailer for all those familiar, but I didn't feel like it was necessary because this movie is not in the language that we're speaking now. And Sam, I thought this was hilarious. What language were they speaking?
Well, it was like 50-50, right? Because it was in Spanish, right? But also significant portions of it were in the Basque dialect.
Yes.
Which
That was awesome.
our history with the Basque dialect goes back, I don't know, maybe 2 years.
Yeah, we love Basque. We are huge Basque fans.
One day in our La Clase de Español AP, sorry, to the layman, that's AP Spanish class.
Oh gosh.
We both raised our hands and we were like, this is a waste of time. Why aren't we learning the Basque dialect? Because I can learn Spanish anywhere, but Basque, it's very specific.
Well, when I become the world president, everyone's speaking Basque. Mark my words.
It's so complex and beautiful.
Yeah. So that was funny, but since it is in Spanish and Basque, I decided we don't need to play a trailer. But so let's just get right into industry news. Sam, I have two things here. Do you have any? It's kind of a light week, so
Not off the top of my head.
all right. Well, I have a couple things. Two, both that are moderately interesting. One, we have the official confirmation of 2 Knives Out sequels. And the next one, number 2, takes place in Greece, which will be cool.
Yeah.
And Sam, so Netflix bought them.
Ooh.
So we're gonna see Knives Out 2, which I'm assuming it'll be kind of be like Murder on the Orient Express / Death on the Nile. It won't be called Knives Out 2. It'll be called something completely different. And Knives Out 3 are picked up by Netflix for, would you care to guess how much money, Sam?
A lot.
$450 million.
No way. 450 million?
That's the figure I saw.
I don't know. I know that Netflix has like
Infinite
literally
amount.
hundreds of millions of subscribers,
Yeah,
but
450.
still, they just have this. They'll just throw money at anything, and that's not a disparaging remark about Knives Out at all, because I thought it was refreshing and fun, but like they will. You could write the most out there script, and they'd be like, how would you like your cash? Like, it's just
Well, the thing about Netflix though is like they have 204 million subscribers and they get $12 a month from every single one of them, which is like
Right.
$2.4 billion a month, which is just
Yeah, but
bonkers.
it's insane, but they have to pay for the licensing for all of these things they're streaming.
Yep, I understand that,
But increasingly their business model is expanding out of past the people don't want to see, the old stuff, the previous the previous film releases and the network television. They want to see our originals because they are getting the heavy hitters, they're
they have a lot of things people love.
yeah. Queen's Gambit.
Yeah, for sure.
Uh
I know you don't
Ozark.
really like. I know you don't really like Stranger Things, but that's huge.
oh my god, yeah.
Point being, a lot of money for Knives Out 2 sequels. And Sam, I have a question for you. Are you more on the? Because I know we were both fans of Knives Out. I know we were both fans of Murder on the Orient Express. Which one would you take? If you have to see, let's say, 4 more sequels of one of them, which one would it be?
Well, I don't know. I think there's a lot more creativity that has to go into Knives Out sequels because first of all, they take place in the present day, right? And that was really the attraction about Knives Out, is it's very much in the vein of like a classic murder mystery, but it takes place today.
Yeah.
Which is an aesthetic that's hard to pull off with cell phones and everything, but they did it well. So I would be more interested to see Knives Out sequels. However, I like murder mysteries no matter the time period, and I love Agatha Christie. So I like Kenneth Branagh as well.
Yeah. That's fair. Well, that's really all I have in relation to that. But one more, we had one more movie news or industry news type thing is we had the SAG Awards last night, Sam, which are decent indicators of the Oscars, or can be.
Yeah.
In years past. So there's only really 5 categories I want to talk about here. They're all acting, obviously, because it's the Screen Actors Guild Awards. So first of all, which isn't really a huge indicator of the Oscars, but still kind of a fun award, is ensemble cast for The Five Bloods, Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, Minari, One Night in Miami, and the winner, The Trial of Chicago 7. How do you feel about that, Sam?
I mean, I think that's the easy pick. Just because they assembled quite a cast for it to get Sacha Baron Cohen, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, Michael Keaton. You forget that Michael Keaton shows up at one point. John Carroll Lynch, perhaps one of the most prolific, like, minor character actors.
Yeah, great character actor, for sure.
In history. Like, he's everywhere. He just has that face where you're like, I've seen him in so many things.
Mm-hmm.
But Eddie Redmayne as well. You forget he's in there. So yeah, I think that's the obvious pick. Because a lot of the films this year are much more one-on-one. They're much more relational, and the Trial of Chicago 7 is kind of the one film where it's a true ensemble cast.
Yeah. For sure.
That's really in the Oscar conversation. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. One Night Miami is definitely an ensemble. I mean, there's like 4 of them, 4 main guys, but not as big as a player.
Right.
So, yeah. Yeah, I agree with that one. We got outstanding performance by a female actor in a lead support or a lead role. Amy Adams, Hillbilly Elegy.
How about that?
Yeah, no kidding. Vanessa Kirby, Pieces of Woman, Frances McDormand for Nomadland, Carey Mulligan for Promising Young Woman, and the winner, Viola Davis, Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. This just shakes it up even more. I mean, you know, we had Andre Day win the Globe. You have Viola Davis win the SAG. I mean, I'm predicting Mulligan for the Oscar, so it's like it's everywhere. What do you think about this?
Well, my money's on Rosamund Pike, obviously, but
yeah. Well, you loved that movie, to be fair. So
it's just a brilliant comedic performance, is what that is.
Well, it's a comedy, Sam.
You see, it's a hilarious movie. I care a lot. But no, I mean, this is difficult because you know, Best Actress in a Leading Role is traditionally a very like consistent category. There's not a lot of dissent, you know.
It's an easy one to predict normally.
Yeah. I mean, you got your Olivia Colmans or whatever, you know, and it's just like, yep, that was the performance.
Yep. It's not the case.
We saw indicators of it last year, right? Like that there would be a little more question about who would win. I mean, Saoirse had a very good shot, I thought, last year.
I think she got snubbed. I think she got snubbed, man. And that's not just me saying that, but
everyone should agree. But yeah, I mean, I guess this is the way we're trending, which quite honestly is better, I think, because it adds some drama to
agreed
the show. Because we forget that the Oscars are at root, they're a show. You know, there's supposed to be some drama to it. So yeah, I'm okay with it. I don't know what to think about this category now.
Yeah. I don't either. I'm still going Mulligan for the Oscar, but Viola Davis, winning here definitely shakes things up for my thoughts of it. And especially like Andre Day even missing here, like not even being nominated.
Right.
Is also interesting. So
yeah.
Moving on to lead actor. We have Riz Ahmed for The Sound of Metal. Actually, wait. It's Sound of Metal, right?
Yeah, it's just Sound of Metal. That's right. That's right. Yeah.
In this article I'm looking at, it says The Sounds of Metal. So they added the and an S. Okay.
You should write them a very angry email.
I should. I'm going to. I'm typing it up.
You're like, that is the greatest film ever made. Stop.
Stop this slander. So we have Riz Ahmed, Sound of Metal, Anthony Hopkins in The Father, Gary Oldman, Meg, Stephen Yeun, Minari, and of course Chadwick Boseman from Ma Rainey's Black Bottom was the winner. This is going to happen everywhere. I mean, you have the main five: Ahmed, Boseman, Hopkins, Oldman, and Yen, and then the winner is Boseman. So, not a big surprise here. Supporting actress, we have Maria Bakalova for Borat, Glenn Close for Hillbilly Elegy, Olivia Colman for The Father, Helena Zengel for News of the World, and Yoon Ya-jung, for Minari, the winner.
Yeah, that performance got overlooked.
It did, and maybe we were a bit preemptive to say Olivia Colman, Sam. This one's tough too. This one's a tough one to call.
Yeah. Well, first of all, how about Helena Zengel? She's like 12.
Yeah, good for her. That's cool.
Good for her.
I'm bummed Amanda Seyfried isn't here, but that's okay.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like that performance was so.
That's a great
she just did her job so well. She's
Yeah.
just it's so easy to overlook. And really this goes into a larger conversation about what good acting is. But very often for me, good acting is, you don't even think about it.
Mhm.
You don't think about that individual character or that individual performance, because acting is supposed to be in support of the story. You don't think about one particular thing. So, I mean, for me, that's definitionally good acting. You made a similar point a few weeks ago about Sacha Baron Cohen with Borat and all that. So,
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, Yoon Ya Jung.
Yep. Yoon Ya Jung.
Yeah, that was a phenomenal performance. You think of the complexity of her character that she had to balance. Very impressive.
Yeah, I would not be offended if she won the Oscar either her or Olivia Colman.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
final category that we'll talk about here.
Mhm.
Best supporting actor. We had Chadwick Boseman in Da 5 Bloods, Sacha Baron Cohen in Trial of Chicago 7, Jared Leto in The Little Things, Leslie Odom Jr. One Night in Miami, and then the winner, pretty much the unanimous winner, is Daniel Kaluuya in Judas and the Black Messiah. So Boseman nominated twice here, Sam. That's interesting.
Yeah. That's different. Also, where's Lakeith Stanfield? And that was obviously a supporting role.
Yeah,
Where is he?
That was a supporting role. He's the supporting actor in that movie. Where is he? I can't believe they did that.
I don't know. But yeah, so Chadwick getting nominated twice, which fair enough. I mean, honestly, the 5 Bloods performance, I think it barely qualifies as a supporting role if we're gonna be like,
he's really not in it much.
It's probably 8 minutes of screen time.
I'm gonna look it up right now.
It's very little. But there was something emotional about it because, Spike Lee has since said something to the effect of like he knew he was kind of dying when he was making that movie. Like he knew his prognosis wasn't good. So there is beauty in that performance. But I think Ma Rainey's Black Bottom is obviously really his, like, it's really his film. I mean,
he's in it for 12 minutes.
12 minutes. Oh,
yeah,
wow.
It's a little more than I thought. But yeah, you're right. You're exactly right. Ma Rainey is his movie.
Yes. And he absolutely just owns the character.
Mhm.
Like fully embodies the character. So yeah, that's really what we should be celebrating.
Agreed. Not a bad list here though. There's nothing like, I mean, no super big surprises other than the maybe best actress.
Yeah.
Might be just tough to call, but I think we were saying that kind of from the beginning, so that's not a huge surprise. But yeah, excited for the Oscars. Sam, we're only 20 days out.
20 days. Here we go. Late April. That's it feels weird to say that,
Yeah,
the Oscars
great.
being around that time. But in a similar vein, though, relating to Stephen Yeun, that we just talked about, I found a piece of interesting, though unrelated, film news relating to him. He is going to be have a prominent role in Jordan Peele's next horror film, which is slated to be released in July 2022. And we don't have a whole lot of details except that Daniel Kaluuya will be returning. We're guessing that it's unrelated to Get Out, but we really don't know. And I'm very excited about this all of a sudden.
Yeah, I mean, Get Out's one of my favorite movies of all time. I was a little disappointed by Us, but what are you going to do? I think you liked that a lot more than I did.
I might have. I don't remember. I don't remember now. What you thought of Us, but
either way, Peele is great. He is a really great up and coming. I'd be curious to see if he can do more than just horror thriller. But
yeah,
I'm fine with what he's doing right now. And Kaluuya, obviously one of the great actors of his generation, and Steven Yeun is, he's really entertaining as well. So I'm all for anything Peele is doing as well. So
yeah, very exciting stuff.
But Sam, with that being said, are we ready to? Are we ready to talk Coven?
Let's talk Coven.
All right. Well,
we don't have a trailer.
We don't have a trailer. Man. No, because it's in
no place to break it up. Yeah, yeah. I mean, come on, you guys need to brush. Our listeners right now need to brush up on their Basque. Like
we do too, honestly.
It's a very essential language.
I watched it without the subtitles. I didn't have subtitles on.
You didn't need them.
I just knew what they were saying. So
it's just fluid. I mean,
gosh, this movie is it called Coven or Coven of? I don't even know.
Well, okay, so there's like 5 different titles. I think there's Coven of Sisters, and then there's like the Basque word, which is like Akira or something. What is that?
Yeah.
When I was looking for it, the poster. Akira, yeah, something like that.
Anyway.
On Netflix, it says this movie is understated, dark. Understated is a good way to put it. But yeah, Coven of Sisters. It's certainly an interesting watch to begin with.
Yeah. Yeah. So I guess I'll start it off, and
yeah,
I'm actually going to. I'm slightly cheating. I'm going to refer to your review, and you used you used a name in your review. That name being Robert Eggers.
Yes,
that is a great. Even while I was watching it, I didn't read your review until after I'd watched it, just so I could think what I formulate my own opinions. And as I'm watching this, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so Eggers. Like, it's very clearly trying to capture some of what he does. And I don't like what he does. That's just me personally.
Right.
So I thought for what this movie was trying to do, I like this a lot more than both of Robert Egger movies. I'll say that.
Are you serious?
Oh my gosh, yeah. I hate The Lighthouse and I hate The Witch, man.
Wow.
But Lighthouse is my least favorite movie of all time. So
I thought you were a little higher on The Witch, but not much.
No, I just like them both.
Okay.
This is better than those, I guess. This is fine. It's like it's very scary. Like not in terms of like it's not in terms of like jump scare, like there someone jumped out at me, but more like I don't know. It's just you really get put in it, I guess. So
yeah.
That's a huge plus for it, I suppose. But what are your like initial thoughts?
I mean, yeah, like you say, it's effective.
Yeah, that's a good word.
It does what it sets out to do. It's just that the basis of the narrative is just kind of a bit of to me, it's kind of like beating a dead horse because, witch trials of any sort are always going to be interesting subject material. but here there's not a whole lot of like, it's not the Crucible is what I'm trying to say, I think.
Yeah.
And here it's just kind of like, we know that they're innocent, and it's just watching them needlessly suffer, it seems. The entire film is focuses on like 5 or 6 girls who are accused of witchcraft in Bass County, 1609, and they are just interrogated over the course of several days, tortured, and then an ending happens. So to me, it was just kind of unfulfilling to watch, if that makes any sense.
Sure. I just want to talk for just a few minutes about nothing to really do with this movie, but I just want to know how stupid humans were to think witches were real and like lived on the earth, and like, oh my gosh, the concept of that is so dumb that it just blows my mind. That we put people to death for it as well.
Well, yeah, I mean, we take a lot of things for granted today that like we take, at the time that this movie is set, 1609.
Yeah.
You could say that Enlightenment ideals in Europe were still getting spread.
Agreed.
There were still people who didn't exactly understand that science and logic were important. And I think that's how you ended up with a lot of these witch trials, is these people operated on fervent religious beliefs alone, and logic was not something that
Was applied very often.
Sure. And I mean, also, you're dealing with Satan. I mean, you're dealing with the devil.
That's true.
So
Lucifer.
you can't be too careful.
Right.
The default is to kill as many people as possible because, well, what if Satan gets to you? You would do anything.
Yeah, I suppose. It's tough. I don't really have a lot to say about this movie just because, I don't know. It's just very run of the mill, but I thought for the most generally, it's hard to tell if, foreign actors are doing a good job or not, but I thought it was well acted.
Yeah.
Even despite the language barrier. I mean, there is no language barrier. I speak Basque, but I still thought all of the actors did a good job, and the story was moderately interested. Gosh, I don't know. There's just it's so linear. Like, it does not diverge at all, which I suppose is probably fine for this specific story. It doesn't really try anything daring, I suppose. Something like, I guess, like even The Lighthouse and The Witch, like they're at least trying to do something. I just don't like what they're doing. This does not really try anything. So
Yeah.
maybe that's why I liked it better. I don't know.
This movie the narrative feels like a subplot to a much larger and better movie.
Okay, sure.
It feels like when I was watching this, I was imagining these girls were just a piece of an ensemble cast, and this was happening somewhere. And then there was like a larger story on top with more characters and another protagonist. Because for me, there was really no real one person to follow throughout.
Yeah, I guess we were following Anna. What's her name? I believe.
Yeah.
But there's really it's a really small cast, honestly.
Yeah, definitely.
So I guess we're following her, but I don't know. We don't know anything about her.
No. know. We know nothing about these characters.
Yeah.
Which is also a problem.
Yeah, I guess let's just start from the beginning. So, I mean, pretty like at the beginning we follow. I don't even know the judge.
The judge.
Yeah.
The judge.
Does he have a
Yeah.
name? I'm not sure. We're following.
Signoria.
Yeah, I mean we see him and with the dude who's writing. I don't know his name either.
Writer. Yeah, sure.
And they're
sure.
they're going around and finding all the witches in vast land. Because that's what I'd do with my time.
Yeah.
And they stumble to this village where Anna and her 5 friends live. They essentially go to the padre and that old woman and say, round them up. We're taking them. I will say, I guess I did appreciate that it got right into it. Like we did not wander around, which was nice.
No.
I like that this is 92 minutes. I sat down and I got out as well. So that was a plus.
They were arrested in the first 10 minutes.
Yeah.
It's like, okay.
Yeah.
Well, we're moving at least.
They bring him to this barn of some type and lock him up there. And one of them is already there though. So we're not sure how she got there. I guess she just already. I have no idea. I literally don't know. Then they're interrogating them one by one, which actually was fine. I mean, it was kind of, we were kind of put in their shoes a little bit of like piecing together what the interrogators know or what they think they know, because like one girl at a time is being taken to be interrogated, and that was fine. I don't know. What did you think of everything up to the 30-minute mark, Sam?
Well, they actually used a tactic that worked really well, for me at least. It's basically we have like 2 or 3 girls go get interrogated, and the rest of them are listening in the cell down below, and they hear like screaming and crying or whatever. And then the guards come down, throw the girl in, grab another one to go interrogate. And that works well. And then they take Anna, and then we kind of follow Anna up the stairs. So what the filmmakers were doing was kind of building this suspense for us. We don't know what happens when they get interrogated. And then we follow our protagonists through that same experience.
Yeah.
So that works well. The problem is that this movie is very much uneven. So we hit a lot of dead points, and then all of a sudden there will be peaks of like legitimate, good, effective acting and some terror, and then it just kind of plateaus again. So I thought that was good. I thought the interrogation scene was actually good.
Yeah, the first interrogation scene was good. I did want to comment on that, and even some of the dialogue, like I thought that was done well in the sense that, she's like, I'm not a witch. And then he's like, I didn't even ask you if you were. Like that,
yeah.
Like that's, and in the moment you're like, oh, okay. I mean, that makes sense. But like, it, right. I thought the dialogue was pretty good.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, that was, that worked. The problem, again, and you alluded to this earlier, is that like we don't know what motivates the judge.
We don't know what motivates anyone.
Or his writer. Well, we know what motivates the girls, and that should not get burned at the stake.
I suppose, but I guess that can transition into our next point. We find that Anna is kind of saying now, like, all right, we need to pretend that we are witches so they can delay our trial and the men will come back and then kill the guards. That's their plan. Fine plan. Okay.
Sure. Fair enough.
But that was just so unbelievable. Like you tell as Anna, like that might sound like a good idea, but nobody is going through with that. Like nobody's just gonna say, "Yep, I'm a witch." I know, like, I want to get away, but I got to say this to get like that. That was so. That just wouldn't happen, and it didn't make sense.
Their strategy is
It's just
I
not
don't
what would
know.
happen. Like that would never happen.
like they don't have, first of all, socially, they wouldn't have the awareness to be able to pull that off.
No.
You know what I mean? Like you don't, like at that time, witchcraft, being a witch was the worst thing you could be. So why would you admit to it?
Yeah.
That's what I can't get over.
Yeah, that was pretty bad. I mean, even if their plan went through and like we delayed enough time for the men to get back. Well, now you've admitted to witchcraft, and aren't those men now gonna be scared of you too? Like, I mean, there's no,
Yeah.
I don't know. So that didn't make sense, and that wasn't great,
Yeah.
but it is what it is.
And it is interesting that that is kind of like their saving grace or something. The idea that all the men in the village are away at sea for whatever reason, and somehow they just know that they're going to be back within a week or whatever. And
Well, Sam, the tide.
the tide. That's when they always come back, right?
Yeah.
We don't know what the men are doing, and we don't know why the men would save them, as you bring up. Like they admit to being witches.
The thing about this movie is it might be fine structurally and narratively, it's decent, and acting wise, it's fine, but we don't know anything about anything. There's no development of characters. There's no backstory to characters. There's no motives displayed. We just don't know why a lot of it is happening, which is an issue. It is.
Oh, definitely.
From here, I guess, they divulge this plan to try to escape.
And we don't even know what. We don't even know how they're planning to escape.
Nope. We don't. So
we don't.
Essentially, there's more interrogation, but this time it's more like, it's not really interrogation, but abuse, essentially.
Right.
So that was, aside from me definitely not condoning abuse, but it was effectively done.
Yes. Yeah. It was legitimately terrifying.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Especially the needle. I mean, if there's anything this movie did for me, it was the moment that where they held the needle to her eye.
Yeah, I was.
I actually yelled out in my dorm room. I was like, "No!" Now, this is Easter weekend. There is no one here, but I did yell. I was like, "No!"
Yeah, that was bad. I put a hand in front of my eyes. I'll be honest. I didn't want to see that, and I'm glad she said it was in her arm, so that was good. Gosh,
if you're gonna get stabbed by a needle anywhere, where you want to get it? The arm
or the leg. Yeah, and she already did the leg, so arm it is. From here, I guess we move into, they're essentially, their plan seems to be working moderately well until the Padre kind of says like, hey, they're just buying time so that the men come back. And this is really the only thing we learned. And this is not bad. We learned that the last time there was a conflict with the guards of whoever the king was or whatever. Mm-hmm. The men of the village stabbed 2 of the guards, and it was over a simple issue. And this is not a simple issue. So they're like, they're going to kill some people. And I was like, oh, okay. All right. We have some backstory, or like at least a reason as to why these girls are doing this.
Right.
And essentially the judge is now like, all right, those dang witches, announce the execution. So they're gonna be executed. Should we just get into the ending? Do you have any more thoughts?
I guess so. At this point, I mean, there is this insinuation, like it's implied at this point that now the girls are like legitimately enjoying pretending to be witches.
Yeah.
Like they start orgasming like right in front of the judge, and they're like, they start having fun with it.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, kind of works, but also kind of takes you out of it because it's like, well, no, you should be very serious about this. Like you're trying to save your own life here.
Yeah, I saw both sides of it. Actually, that was probably the best part of the movie where Anna was describing the experience when she said she was the witch and was trying to save the others.
Yeah, the singing.
That might have been the best part of the movie. So that was a really effective scene, actually. I'll point that out.
Sure.
Essentially, but we go to the ending, and they're gonna burn all of them. Anna's efforts did not prevail. They did not believe her that she was the only witch, or even if they did, well, they didn't care.
Yeah, right.
So this is where it just lost me from here. It's just the ending.
Hey, say what you will. Good sound mixing, though. Incredible sound mixing.
Yeah. The ending of the whole fire thing was so weird and like just did not fundamentally make sense of what the characters would have done.
Again, very Eggers.
Yeah, I guess. But I mean, these girls are going to be burned at the stake, and they are just they're having a ball. They're just they're prancing around. They're singing. They're playing some instruments. Like they're into it.
Yeah.
And it just didn't make sense.
What is the movie trying to tell you at that point?
I don't
though?
Was it trying to say that they are witches? I don't know.
Is it trying to say that like, well, we'll get into like the definite ending because there is a conversation there. But also like thematically, what is it trying to say? Is it trying to say that like their own necessity to survive has prompted them to enjoy this entire experience? Like they're finding it pleasurable, I guess, in a perverse way. Because they're dancing, like you said, they're dancing around the fire in chains. And then do they hand the judge, is that a shroom? Is that what that is?
I don't know, but they kind of they seduce him in some sense.
They're satanic on their own. I don't know. I don't
either, but he's kind of into it for a second as well until the padre and maybe the writer and some guards kind of pull him away, and then the girls spring this as their chance to escape.
Mm-hmm.
And for a second, it didn't look like anyone was chasing them, and I thought, "Oh, great, they're just going to get away. It'll be all fine." Not the case. Not the case at all. So they do try to escape. They run to the cliffs. And there are pursuers as well. So the guards are trying to get them, as well as the judge. And they kind of face him at the edge of the cliff, and Anna says, "Let's jump together." So I guess they jump off the cliff to get away from being burned at the stake. And the camera kind of pans back, and we see the judge looking over the cliff, and he says they flew away.
Yeah, I don't know if that was a joke or not.
I don't either. Did they fly away?
Is it supposed to be ambiguous? Like maybe they were actually witches and they actually did get to fly away.
But I didn't see them on screen. It was dark, I get, but
yeah, exactly. But like, is the movie trying to say like, oh, it's ambiguous? Either they jumped off the cliffs or they actually got to fly, or something.
The thing is, which was just so poorly done, is the whole movie we know they are innocent. Like we know they're not witches. It's pretty like they're not witches.
Right.
But at the end, the last two scenes of the cliff and the fire or whatever, we're slightly led to believe that maybe they are witches. Like it's not 100% clear at the end. So,
Right.
What are your thoughts there? I thought it was bad.
Yeah, because everything up until that point would lead us to believe that they are not witches.
Yeah.
We also have this like plot piece relating to the fact, or kind of showing rather than telling us, that the girls did shrooms in the forest and had this like psychedelic experience.
Yeah.
So I mean, maybe that it's that they thought under the influence of the psychedelics that they could fly away when they jumped off a cliff. But we're not sure about that either. So yeah, it is annoying because it's like, well, all right, are they innocent or are they not?
And I'm fine with an ambiguous ending. That's not the point. Like I like ambiguity as well. Like let me draw my own conclusions. But for a movie like this that had no like, not really any, could they be witches? Could they not be witches? There was never a doubt in my mind. So the ambiguous ending for this movie just didn't work that well.
Right. Yeah.
I'm gonna go with they weren't witches, and they just, they jumped off the cliff and died.
Maybe they thought they were witches.
They might have, maybe they could have.
Maybe witches aren't real.
It might be that. We don't know, Sam. We don't know is the thing.
That would be, well, on a serious note though, what if the movie was able to pull off a decent twist and say they really are witches and everything the judge has been doing up until this point has been completely justified?
Yeah, but they didn't go there. That's the other issue. If they had just gone one way or the other.
Right.
So I think that's kind of what the witch did. Robert Eggers, the witch. Is it went there?
Yeah.
Spoilers for that movie. Don't see it. It went there and this didn't. And I guess I didn't like the witch. So maybe I like that it didn't go there. I don't know. So
Fair enough.
I'm about exhausted on thoughts I have of this movie, Sam. Do you have anything left?
I am similarly exhausted.
Okay.
It's not a pleasant movie. And
Nope. It's I'll say wrap up thoughts for me. It's definitely an atmospheric movie. You feel what these girls are going through, but you don't really know what they're going through because we have no background information. There's no development of any characters. So I would say the bones of this movie are set in place. Like you have a good skeleton, but you didn't add any of the other stuff. You didn't add the muscle or the organs.
Right.
You forgot everything else. So
right. I have the perfect like summation of this.
Okay. Let's hear.
I was watching a writing like workshop thing, and it was some professional screenwriter, and he said, oh no, it was a screenwriting masterclass. The screenwriter said, most people think they have an idea for a screenplay when they say, I want to write about this. It's like, you really don't have an idea until you have, I want to write about this, but then. And this movie, the screenwriter was like, I want to write about witch trials. And that's it.
Okay.
There's no but then.
That is a good example.
Yeah.
We can get into some star ratings if you'd like, Sam.
Sure.
I'm at a 2.5, but I'm close to a 2.
Mm-hmm.
So sure. I think I'll stick with a 2.5 though. So not bad, just not good. It's really not bad. This isn't like a bad movie, but
No.
It's right down the middle. You?
I think I think 2.5 is right because there's a lot of good cinematography which we really didn't get into.
Sure.
But there's some really good shots. The costumes are really good.
Yep.
The acting is pretty good. Yeah, there's just not much to sink your teeth into.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I don't think it really tries to be more.
Sure.
Except for that kind of cheap ending that we discussed. So yeah, I'll give it a 2.5 out of 5.
Okay. There we go. And next week we will be doing Nobody, the new Bob Odenkirk action movie. So stay tuned for that. And for now, Sam, do we want to hit some recommendations?
Yeah, let's hit some recommends.
And I got one ready. And
okay, go ahead.
So I was thinking this week, I wanted to do something music wise, and I've been listening basically for like 2 weeks straight. I feel like I've listened to this soundtrack at least once a day. And
oh no,
it is a movie soundtrack actually, but
oh boy,
it is the La La Land soundtrack. It's so good. I've been listening to it like on repeat, and it's incredible. And that's going to be my recommendation for the week. La La Land the La La Land soundtrack. And I know it, like, you probably have to see the movie to like know if the soundtrack's good or not, but just listening to the soundtrack is awesome. So
yeah,
that's mine.
Phenomenal. No, that's an excellent recommend. For me, okay, so this week, a friend of mine recommended this movie to me, and I was pleasantly surprised by it. It's a kind of a rom-com, but it goes a lot deeper than that. It's called About Time with
movie.
What?
Fantastic movie.
Fantastic. It's lovely. It's lovely. Interesting concept, interesting execution. Not at all what you end up expecting. It's a lot like the Adam Sandler movie Click, but very, very good. Instead, I think they have similar premises. But yeah, About Time is really good. Check it out.
That is a great recommend. I've seen About Time 3 times actually.
Are you serious?
Yeah, and it only gets better. And you said rom-com, and that's what it is, but it's a lot like the father-son relationship too. So
yes. So,
it's
a lot more than meets the eye.
Yeah,
this is a good way.
Really good recommend. Really good. And I think Sam, that's all we have. So where can I find you on Letterboxd?
You can find me on letterboxd.com/sjdierberger. And where can I find you, Will?
You can find me at Will Spalding on Letterboxd, and you can find us in the Basque region of Spain speaking Basque. And maybe we'll see.
Not hunting witches. We're better than that.
No, we would never. But you can also find us at anchor.fm/Those Film Nerds. And Those Film Nerds on all podcast platforms and YouTube. And Those Film Nerds on Instagram and thosefilmnerds@gmail.com. So email any questions, thoughts, anything related in. And we'll get back to you. And Sam, until next time when we're talking Nobody.
Keep watching movies, everyone. Have a great week.
Thank you.